Once again, welcome to T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Premier Boxing Champions continues our Showtime pay-per-view prelims. It is promoted by GTD Promotions, TGB Promotions, Golden Boy Promotions, in association with Warriors Boxing and Showtime pay-per-view. Sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app. Use code GLOVES and bet Tank Davis versus King Ryan now. Big George Foreman, exclusively in theaters April 28th. Tickets on sale now. Rated PG-13. Powered by Fast Twitch, a new energy drink from Gatorade with 200 milligrams of caffeine, electrolytes, and zero sugar. Cuervo Tradicional Cristalino, smooth, has an edge. And Fast 10, in theaters May 19th. Our three judges ringside are Eric Cheek, Chris McGlory, and Steve Weisfeld. The referee in charge of the action is Mike Ortega. And now Premier Boxing Champions present 10 rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing the silver with blue trim, he weighed in at 158.9 pounds. With 22 victories, including 15 wins by knockout, opposite of 5 defeats, representing Mérida, Yucatan, Mexico, here is Elias Espadas. And now introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the black and blue trim. He weighed in at 159.1 pounds. His record stands undefeated, 21 victories with 13 wins by knockout. Representing Warsaw, Poland by way of Ukraine, here is the talented rising contender, Fiodor Czerkaszyn.
Germany, give me a good, clean fight. Una pelea limpia. Good luck to both of you. Una suerte a los dos. Touch them up. Todos los montes.
Referee in charge is Mike Ortega. It is our next matchup here, the second of 6 tonight here in Las Vegas. Wherever you're joining us around the world, we thank you so much. This one in the middleweight division, a division that is pretty much open to see who can take the mantle and evolve and really become a stellar world champion. Fiodor Czerkaszyn, wearing the Ukrainian flag. That's where he was born. He now resides in Poland, but taking on none other than Elias Espadas. Good stiff jab for Czerkaszyn. Czerkaszyn very fundamentally sound. Double left hook followed by a right over the top. He's sort of pawing with the jab, smacks back the head of Espadas with the jab. Espadas trying to get on the inside, but Czerkaszyn very good with his distance and his boxing IQ. There's a chopping overhand right on the left ear of Espadas.
Czerkaszyn likes to work methodically. He's not someone that's going to rush into anything. He's been known to be a slow starter.
There's a left hook that smacked off the right eyebrow of Espadas. I like how Czerkaszyn throws in the sense that he's very fluid. He's not really tense. He lets the punches flow. He's quick when he throws. He is accurate. He's waiting for the opening, but he's so fast when it comes to when he sees an opening, he's able to attack at that one moment.
Yeah, he's very disciplined. He's not going to get baited into anything from his opponent, and he will, when there's an opening, he will exploit it.
Also, with Czerkasyn, he's one of those guys that could do a multitude of things correctly. What I mean by that is that he is not just a, fight off the jab, be the aggressor, back up your opponent. He can fight as a counter puncher. He can mix up what he decides to do. He has a variety of different ways to beat you, and as you move up in competition, sometimes if you're used to being on your front foot and backing up your opponent, you can't afford to do that because it's not going your way.
Czerkasyn right now, as we know, being very calculated and beautiful body work. He went to the body and then with a short right hook, clip Espadas on the side of the head.
Good stiff jab there by Czerkasyn.
I mean, this is also a big opportunity for Espadas as he gets clipped with another left hook. If he's able to deliver Czerkasyn, who's barely lost a round in his career, his first defeat, it can really rejuvenate a career.
At 32 years of age, you're looking for that next big opportunity. There's a left hook followed by a right for Czerkasyn. That'll end round number 1.
There's a beautiful left hook from Czerkasyn. He's been able to connect with Espada through that first round. Not as slow of a start here in round 1, but as you see, kind of talking with Chico Rivas, he's smiling, nodding his head, feeling great.
Yeah, when Chico Rivas is smiling and having fun, that's a good thing. He is the trainer of Fiodor Czerkaszyn. Chico Rivas, who's been around the game for a long, long time as we enter round number 2. What I love about tonight in a variety of different ways, as Fiodor Czerkaszyn in control so far against Elias Espadas, is that I feel like tonight is a passing of the torch when it comes to the sport. And obviously the fight has to deliver. I do believe that'll be the case with Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. But even like a small little microcosm in the fact that with Czerkasyn, middleweight is there to be who's going to be the man. The same way with Tank and Ryan, who's going to be the man tonight? Who could potentially be the man and really carry boxing on their shoulders for the next 5 to 6 years? Who's going to be that next big global superstar? Tank and Ryan are global stars, but this fight's going to make the other a global superstar. In the middleweight division, who's going to be the star? Who's going to be the man for the next year to 18 months? Czerkasyn wants to go ahead and clamor for a world title, but he's got to do it. He's got to be able to put away guys like Espadas and look impressive in stages like this.
And the middleweight division, Ray, we know in boxing history, it's always been one of the premier divisions. When you go back and look, it's been 147, the welterweights, it's been the middleweights, and it's been the heavyweights. Those are kind of the 3 of the upper echelon divisions that so many people in the history books have been a premier note. And right now, as you mentioned, in the middleweight division, I wouldn't say it's on its downturn, but it's just guys are, as we mentioned earlier, different points in their career, things have been changing, and there is sort of a gap and an opening there for somebody to come in and take a hold of that middleweight division. And so far, Czerkasyn has a massive opportunity in front of him to be one of those guys. And here in round 2, he has just been outboxing Espada so far.
I do like the jab of Czerkasyn. It's an unorthodox jab. It's one of those jabs like it's, you know, he sort of picks at you with the jab. It's almost like you have, you know, you a chisel, and he's just chiseling away, and he's just pounding away on the chisel is what he's doing. So I do like the the jab of Czerkaszyn. It's unorthodox. He's now gone to southpaw. He's gone from orthodox to southpaw, and he's certainly ambidextrous, and Espadas seems to be totally befuddled, using head movement to try to get on the inside.
Both men tied up. Czerkaszyn feeling good, hasn't really been thrown off his game whatsoever. Espadas coming forward, but he's been getting countered rather easily in the first 2 rounds. Another right hook from Czerkaszyn.
Czerkaszyn hurt Espadas, as Espadas typically doesn't go backwards, and he immediately went backwards once he ate that right hand over the top from the Ukrainian-born, Polish resident in Fiodor Czerkaszyn. As we go back and revisit some of the work from Fiodor Czerkaszyn, there's his overhand or beautiful left hook to the body. A little bit of some inside fighting from Espadas.
There's a straight right from Espada that just missed. And Espada's got to change up his game plan a little bit. It's very similar to what we saw in the Vito Mielnicki fight. And it didn't work out so well for Jose Sanchez Charles, but you got to be the aggressor. You got to take Czerkaszyn off his game a little bit, because right now he's just has pinpoint accuracy. He's picking them apart, and it's been very easy so far through 2.
On to round number 3 coming up next. We will start off with our main card. Elijah Garcia, 19 years of age, 14-0, 12 knockouts. He'll match up against Kevin Salgado of Mexico. Overhand right, a left hook that shook up Espadas. Fiodor Czerkaszyn starting strong here in this 3rd stanza.
Another solid jab from Czerkaszyn. And a right hand from Espada. Czerkaszyn staying out of danger.
Round 3, this one is scheduled for 10. Fiodor Czerkaszyn with a left hook. Czerkaszyn is starting to pick up. He's starting to be more offensive, and this is sort of, I do like his style in the sense that he absolutely has the ability just to pick you apart and keep you on the outside and just win on points because of his extensive amateur background. But what I like about him, and I think what Chico Rivas is very keen on, is to go out and hurt your opponent. Not just use your technical boxing skill, but go out and try to hurt your opponent and land some big power shots.
And then what she's doing right now, it landed a huge left hook on Espada, and Espada's starting to get frustrated with referee Mike Ortega, but you got to focus on the man in front of you. And Czerkaszyn's frustrating Espada here in round 3.
Yeah, Espadas is in some trouble as we approach the final minute of this 3rd round. There's a left to the body by Espadas. A left hook that wobbled Espadas by Czerkaszyn. Left hook to the body by Czerkaszyn. There's a right to the body for Fiodor Czerkaszyn. A left hook upstairs as well. You know, and also the defense of Czerkaszyn is very unique, and it works for him because he has a very open defense. And now he's gone to a Philly shell almost. He's interesting. He's a very unique fighter, is Fiodor Czerkaszyn. You know, he kind of has his hands somewhat, you know, a little bit low, you would say, and then he opens up and he picks you with his jab. He's very loose, he's very fluid. But I like the snap that he has behind his punches, does Czerkaszyn. Left hook that momentarily wobbled Espadas. Espadas now tying up. I thought he got buzzed with that left hook. And that'll conclude the third stanza. Here is some of the work from round number 3. There's that left hook on the chest by Czerkasyn.
Czerkasyn using the ropes beautifully and then pops him up with the straight left. And right now, Espada has no answers. He's been frustrated, taking his frustrations out on referee Mike Ortega, and he is just not really finding many answers right now.
Stay back, get back in the corner. Stay there. Okay, let's go. Keep it clean.
On to round number 4. This one scheduled for 10 here with Fiodor Czerkaszyn and Espadas. Good right to the body by Fiodor Czerkaszyn, and Czerkaszyn really picking up the pace here. I think it's only a matter of time before this one ends. Espadas knows he's got to fight, but oh boy, he is in some trouble. And Czerkaszyn is really going right after Espadas, and I don't think he is going to let his foot off the gas pedal here.
Yeah, this is a moment for, if you're Czerkaszyn, make a statement here in T-Mobile Arena on a massive card. Finish it emphatically and put your name in the hat that, hey, I could potentially be one of those guys in the middleweight division. Another big right hand that connected on Espada as he ties him up.
Well, I look at a guy that, like Carlos Adames, who to me is just an absolute monster, so much fun to watch. He's going to be in action in June, so if you're Fiodor Czerkaszyn from a PBC standpoint, when it comes to, as you talk about the business aspect, there's a left hook to the body that backed up Espadas. Espadas is hurt.
Yeah, that body shot really hurt him. You saw him wince. Another massive uppercut, and Czerkaszyn's picking him apart.
Well, Espadas is in trouble, and Czerkaszyn going on the attack, and Czerkaszyn is cutting off the ring. This is bad for Espadas in a major way. Elias Espadas in a heap of trouble as we have 75 seconds left here in the 4th. There's a left hook that smacked across the right cheek of Espadas, and Czerkaszyn continues to pick apart and dominate Elias Espadas.
Yeah, Espada's been just getting roaming all over this ring, stumbling, then getting tagged with big shots from Czerkaszyn, and Czerkaszyn's confidence level is through the roof here. And again, he's just continuing to hurt Espada.
Yeah, Espadas going backwards, just absorbed a left hook to the body. You hear Chico Rivas saying, dig that body. Well, it was that left hook to the body that made Elias Espadas go about 3 or 4 steps backwards to the perimeter of the ring to try to give himself time to deal with that pain.
Another left hook connects for Czerkaszyn, and it seems Espada is going to be able to escape this 4th round.
That'll end the round. Well, look at for Fiodor Czerkaszyn, go to the body, the head will fall. So emblematic of that with this.
Another left hook to the body from Czerkaszyn.
There's a beautiful left right on the midsection.
And I think
a
it's
strafing body shot.
And I think it's the body work really that is making a difference here. with Czerkaszyn. I think if he continues to dig into the body, it won't be too much longer where Espada won't be able to continue.
Well, Espada still having to try to come out and really make a definitive statement here. But so far, he has not been able to have any prolonged offense against the undefeated Fiodor Czerkaszyn. Round 5, this one's scheduled for 10. If you're Fiodor Czerkaszyn, you've been continuing to debilitate and hammer away upon Elias Espadas, and now he's going right on the attack and crumpling over as Espadas. Mike Ortega watching the action, only a matter of time before I think this one gets stopped. And look at Czerkaszyn, the array of punches coming from a multitude of angles.
Yeah, he's pounding them everywhere. He's hurting the body, going upstairs, back to the body. I think he's got it set in his mind that he doesn't want it to go past 5 right now.
And you know what? Ask and you shall receive. And for Fiodor Czerkaszyn, he's looking to set everything up off the jab, but he was throwing punches in bunches, and Espadas had really no answer. Now he's coming forward more. I got to give credit, though, to Espadas. He is one tough dude because he has taken a beating, especially on the body. He's going to be sore tomorrow morning.
He absolutely is. But if you're Czerkaszyn, the saying goes, don't play with your food. And you want to get the victory. You have him hurt. It's time to finish him. We see what happens in boxing when a fighter is dominating and then all of a sudden it takes one punch to kind of change the momentum and get clipped. You don't want to have that situation happen. It happened to Sebastian Fundora just a couple of weeks ago where he was dominating the fight against Brian Mendoza, and all it took was a couple of punches and it changed the entire trajectory of Brian Mendoza's career with the victory over Fundora. That's not what Czerkaszyn wants to deal with here against Espada.
Well, with Espadas is that you cannot, against a veteran like Espadas and just guys who are just tough and have been in the ring against some quality opposition, you can never really count them out. So you have got to be able to, when you have the opportunity, and throwing down Espadas was Czerkaszyn, you got to go out and you got to finish it, because you let him hang around and you might get burned in the long term. Or down the line is what I meant.
Yeah, it has happened. I'm not saying it will happen tonight, but it's just, boxing is such a dangerous sport. You don't want to mess around too long, especially if you know you are significantly better, have been thoroughly dominant through 4, and now going to be dominant through 5.
Mike Ortega telling Czerkaszyn, you're pulling down the head. There's a nice left hook upstairs for Fiodor Czerkaszyn. Czerkaszyn has pretty much been a carbon copy every single round. Going to the body, then he comes up with combinations upstairs. He'll attack the body again. Espadas will come forward, try to throw a punch or two, be aggressive, but then he gets blasted with like a right hand or sorts, and we're halfway home here. So what is impressive to me is the punishment threshold of Elias Espadas, because he's been taking shots like that all afternoon long.
Yeah, he really came out focused in that to start that 5th round, was pounding him away to the body. It was with massive overhand rights upstairs. In Espada, it appeared that he was going to be finished, but again, credit to Espada for fighting through it, maintaining his chin, and finding a way to get through that round. But if you're talking about a winning strategy, so far, he has lost every single round in this fight.
Well, what will round number 6 bring? We're about to find out. Fiodor Czerkaszyn and Elias Espadas. As we mentioned, coming up next, Elijah Garcia, the 19-year-old phenom, to take on Kevin Salgado. There's a right hand on the left cheek of Elias Espadas. Espadas coming out, trying to show that he's still in the fight, and he absorbs a left hook to the body.
Yeah, he's putting forth effort. I don't think it's at the point where the corner needs to stop it or Mike Ortega needs to stop it. He's fighting back, but I just don't know if there's any answers for Espadas. He's just kind of in Czerkasyn's in a different league, and he's shown it now. But I think if you're Espada, you hope to land something significant, maybe to change the course of this fight. But Czerkasyn again hit him with 2 big shots there that made Espada want to tie him up.
Espadas is the kind of litmus test that if you are a young up-and-coming contender, you want to put him in there against a guy like that to see, is this guy legit? Does he have a lot of potential, or does he really have just a blown-up record? And clearly with Fiodor Czerkaszyn, he does have, I think he is the goods, and I think no doubt he is on his way to becoming a top contender within the middleweight division, just based on his technical skills alone. There's an overhand right. And that affected the ear of Espadas. You saw Espadas sort of brush away on the ear. That means it affected him. It'll be a sold-out crowd here at T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas later tonight. Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia in our main event. 2 power-punching lightweights getting it on for the world to see. There's an overhand right for Czerkasyn. Coming up on a minute to go in the 6th. There's an overhand right for Czerkasyn.
Another short left hook followed by the right on the chin, and Espada again knees buckled there.
I believe there's a little bit of a cut developing under the left eye of Espadas. A left hook to the body that backs up Espadas. He literally goes to the perimeter of the ring to try to give himself time to recover. Oh, overhand right there for Espadas. That's what we talked about with Czerkasyn. You allow guys like this to hang around, you might get clipped. And if you notice Czerkasyn now keeping his distance a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a massive left hook followed by the straight right. And now Czerkasyn starting to turn it on. I think he was kind of woken up from that right hand from Espadas. And again, you don't want to mess around too much longer. It's not to say Czerkasyn's not trying to go for the knockout, but you don't want to get careless as well. And he got careless towards the end of that round to get caught from Espadas.
Go back and take a look at some of the work.
There's that right hand that connected for Fiodor, and it backed Espadas up. And every time he's gotten hurt, he has continued to back up. It's been very noticeable. And Czerkasyn just has not been able to get over the hump to score a knockdown. And right here, a big right hand caught Czerkasyn as he was trying to go for an overhand right. Got countered beautifully from Espadas. That's probably the best punch of the fight so far if you are Espadas. But again, too few and far between. Still lost that round in my opinion, even though he landed a big shot to Czerkasyn, just because Czerkasyn's activity level was just so good.
Elias Espadas took a little bit of time to get off his stool, literally waited for the final moment, and the round begins. An overhand right. Now Czerkasyn starting strong, and he has found a home for that right hand on the left ear of Elias Espadas. There's a right hand backing up Espadas, and Czerkasyn looking to possibly close the show again. Czerkasyn starts strong in the round, and then and this is just me being hypercritical, not even critical, hypercritical. He fades a little bit, especially in these middle rounds, and he allows Espadas to hang around enough to not get stopped, and then occasionally he'll get hit with something that you're saying, all right, if I'm really going to be hypercritical of this guy, that's it when it comes to Czerkasyn.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you get into that upper echelon of the division, when you have your opponent hurt and there's another beautiful left hook followed by the right, you got to put them away. You don't want to mess around too much because there's too many power punchers and knockout artists. And Czerkasyn, when you look, he's got 13 knockouts, but he's not really known as a power puncher or knockout artist. And that could be a potential weakness when you start to match him up against some of the better contenders in the middleweight division. Solid jab, he's disciplined.
He doesn't have the one-punch eraser. However, he does have power to hurt you, as he just unloaded a left upon Elias Espadas. The thing with Czerkasyn is collectively over the course of a fight, he has the ability to put you away, but does he have that one-punch signature shot like Gervonta and Ryan? No, but you know what? Not everybody does. And there's a left hook to the body by Czerkasyn. I do like that left hook to the body that Czerkasyn has. To me, that is his best punch in his arsenal.
Yeah, that's been the punch that's really caused a lot of problems for Espadas. And Czerkasyn, every time he throws it, he connects, and it takes a little bit more out of Espadas.
But again, me being super critical, I'm looking at the end of the 7th round. 3 more rounds to go. Big stage like this, big event, big moment. You want to have a big performance, get the stoppage. But again, Czerkasyn hasn't been in any peril throughout the entirety of the fight.
No, not really, other than that right hand. He took it well. There wasn't really anything that Espadas has done through 7 so far that has cost Czerkasyn any sort of danger.
There's a right hand for Espadas. Final moments of the 7th.
And the left hook buckled the knees of Espadas.
Espadas unload, and are getting hammered upon, and that'll end the 7th. And did Mike Ortega, he stepped in, and the round he was very close to being stopped was Elias Espadas.
I don't know if Espadas is going to be able to get up off the stool.
I think he might be done. It really looks like they're going to take a long look at him. I think that's enough to be able to say, hey, enough is enough, because there is no real reason for him to continue. As we take a look, that big right hand on the left ear, followed by that uppercut. Look at the punches by Czerkasyn.
And this is the big-time knockout people were talking about for Czerkasyn, and he really turned it up here once he saw Espadas was hurt at that uppercut and then the right hand. And I think, honestly, if there's 10 more seconds, he probably finishes him, and Mike Ortega steps in.
They are taking a nice extended look at Elias Espadas. The doctor is in the ring right now.
Time.
I think our ringside physician here tonight, David Watson, Raimundo Leon, Tristan Cooper, and Damon Savala, collectively, I think that they told Espadas, hey, look, you got to show us something, because we're not going to allow you to take this kind of punishment throughout the entirety of the 8th round.
Yeah, Mike Ortega went to the corner.
Big right hand by Czerkasyn, and Czerkasyn has Espadas hurt. A left hook to the body, and now an avalanche of punches coming out, or there was an avalanche of punches coming out for Czerkasyn. He has Espadas against the perimeter of the ring. It is target practice for Czerkasyn, and I think Czerkasyn is moments away, maybe 1 or 2 more combinations, and that'll likely be all she wrote.
Yeah, Mike Ortega's watching very closely. He's on a short leash, and Czerkasyn knows that. Another right hand clips. I think Czerkasyn's trying to be a little bit careful because he doesn't want to go all out and get caught from the right hand again. But as you mentioned, a couple of well-placed combinations, and I think he'll be able to get the finish.
A left hook upstairs, followed by a right, smacking back the head of Espadas. And Czerkasyn starting to show the right uppercut, the right on the left ear, the left hook to the body, a right to the body by Czerkasyn. Czerkasyn starting to show that he has a variety of different weapons at his disposal as we approach 100 seconds to go in the 8th.
And Czerkasyn once again targeting the body, trying to change things up. Espadas is doing a decent job of trying to hide the damage that he's taken. He's been able to do just enough and walks in on another right hand from Czerkasyn.
Beautiful shot by the Ukrainian-born Polish resident in Fiodor Czerkaszyn. 70 seconds left. Espadas can take a beating because he's getting beaten down tonight now. I think Czerkasyn is almost chasing him down. There's a left hook upstairs, a sweeping left hook, backing up Espadas. Espadas just ate a left hook. Mike Ortega in there, he was ready to stop it. And now a combination for Czerkasyn yet again.
That was a little bit of an odd situation. Mike Ortega appeared to seem like he was going to grab Czerkasyn off and stop it. And
he
then
almost stopped.
He let it go because Espadas landed a right hand, but
I mean, for Ortega, I don't mind that because he didn't get in the way of the action. It looked like it was going to be an end, but it's clear he's got a short leash. Does Elias Espadas. There's a right crashing in to the left cheekbone of Espadas. I don't know if there is any sense in allowing Espadas, if he survives this round, to start round number 9. To me, what's the point? There's a right hand
and a huge left.
Czerkasyn hammering away upon none other than Elias Espadas, and that'll end the 8th, and this one is over. Mike Ortega likely will stop it. I think he sort of said, that is it, but the corner saying, hey, give us one more round. To me, what's the point?
And there's Czerkasyn countered with the left, another right hand that knocks Espadas back, and I think the right on the side of the head again there. If you're the corner of Espadas, you got to protect your fighter. I mean, at this point now, he has shown not even a remote chance of hurting Czerkasyn, and you're pretty much just sending him out there to get pounded away again. You're in the 8th round. You've given him some chances. He's been hurt multiple times. You've given him some chances to fight out of it, and he just simply has not.
Well, he hasn't landed anything of validity since the 5th round, that overhand right, and again, he enters the 9th, but I mean, you just don't want to see him take too much unnecessary damage for no reason when he's probably behind on the scorecards by a significant margin. I haven't given him even one round.
No, there has not been one round that Espadas has won. He has been hurt significantly throughout this fight.
There's a right hand for Czerkasyn. There's a right uppercut. Oh boy, that snapped back the head of Espadas. As Mike Ortega taking a long look at Elias Espadas. Another right uppercut, a left hook to the body for Czerkasyn. Czerkasyn hammering away upon Espadas. Espadas barely keeping himself upright. He was literally lunging and laboring on the ropes moments ago.
And if you're Czerkasyn, you got to know, like, hey, the referee is watching him very closely. All I need is 1 or 2 more combinations, and I can get him out of there.
There's a left hook to the body by Czerkasyn. A left hook for Espadas. Finally, he throws something significant as Czerkasyn goes the southpaw back to conventional. Czerkasyn's got to be thinking, man, what do I got to do to get this guy out of here? I mean, he's still a live body. There's a left hook upstairs followed by a right. The combination hammering away upon Espadas.
'Czerkaszyn cutting off the ring. Another short left that connects.
75 seconds to go here in the ninth.
You wonder if Czerkaszyn's starting to get a little bit worn down just from simple exhaustion. He seems to have slowed up a little bit here in the ninth round, and Espadas is right there, and there's another
right hand on the left ear of Espadas. Espadas is hurt, and this one is officially over. Academic, a ninth round stoppage for Fiodor Czerkaszyn to remain undefeated as he holds a very tough Elias Espadas. But what a performance from Fiodor Czerkaszyn to get the stoppage here tonight in Las Vegas. Fiodor Czerkaszyn with an emphatic victory here tonight. And he was never in any peril, and my hat's off to Elias Espadas, the 32-year-old, for giving a concerted effort, but he literally had no answer whatsoever for Fiodor Czerkaszyn. And here is some of the work of Czerkaszyn. Double left hook to the body, and Mike Ortega, enough is enough, and waves it off. A fitting stoppage, and Espadas trying to plead with him, but yes, there was no need for any more damage to be done to Elias Espadas. Remaining undefeated, elevating his record to 22-0 is Fiodor Czerkaszyn.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2:07 of round number 9. Free winner by TKO and still undefeated, Fiodor Czerkaszyn.